Brown eyes. The durable default. The default setting evolution was kept because it refuses to babysit fragile eyeballs. These are nature's original sunglasses, the kind that do not slip, crack, or demand a designer discount. Early humans sprinted across open savannas under a sun acting less like a star and more like a spotlight with anger issues. No hats, no shade, just glare and survival on hard mode. Who still saw clearly? The ones with coffee-coloured irises were built for this exact mess. Melanin loads these irises with enough defense to shut down ultraviolet light on contact. It is the laid-back bodyguard of pigments. No drama, no glitter, just calm, quiet absorption. Bright light tries to ricochet around your eyeball like a hyperactive laser pointer, and melanin calmly says, "Not today, Satan." Brown eyes pull the chaos inward, cut the glare, and keep your vision sharp enough to spot dinner, or avoid becoming it. Meanwhile, lighter eyes meet the same sunlight and immediately activate their panic setting. Brown eyes are the all-terrain tire of human vision, steady in desert sun, stadium bleachers, office windows, anywhere ultraviolet light thinks it can pick a fight. They do not panic, they smoulder. Most humans have brown eyes because they work, and they save their drama for golden hour. Firelight, sunsets, candles, honey, amber, cinnamon. Not a colour change, just a reveal. Less sparkle, more substance. The quiet MVP of human vision. Blue eyes, the drama filter. Blue eyes are the optical glitch evolution kept because it looked cool on the packaging. With barely any melanin, they do not contain blue. They scatter incoming light until it bounces back like a visual magic trick. The same Rayleigh scattering the sky uses to pretend it has personality. They evolved where sunlight barely showed up. In low light, they thrive. In bright light, they fold instantly. That pale iris lets in every stray photon, giving blue-eyed people the same expression as someone opening a surprise bill. Sunglasses are survival equipment. A single mutation 6 to 10,000 years ago created every blue-eyed human alive. One genetic switch flipped, melanin dropped, and suddenly the world had irises acting like reactive filters, deepening under clouds, sharpening in shade, shifting like the universe is adjusting their settings. Functionally, blue eyes offer almost zero ultraviolet protection. They are not designed for harsh environments. They are designed for theatrics, sparking in dim rooms, glowing near candlelight, shifting like they are weighing their options. That is not personality, it is physics committing to the bit. Green eyes, the rare mischief maker. Green eyes are the biological glitch that somehow made it past quality control. They sit in the pigment zone evolution never intended anyone to operate in. Too much melanin and they bail into brown. Too little and they defect to blue. But hit the perfect balance and you get green, the eye color equivalent of a software bug that mysteriously improves performance. The recipe? A hint of melanin, a splash of lipochrome, and Rayleigh scattering doing its best blender impression. That is why green eyes shift shades every time the lighting moves. Shadow equals brooding. Sunlight equals bright. Indoor light equals please stop asking. Only 2% of humans have green eyes. The chemical ratio required is so absurdly specific it feels like nature hid the instructions. But rarity pays off. Green eyes draw attention simply because no one can agree on what colour they actually are. Sensitivity-wise, they land in the middle. Not shielded like brown, not fragile like blue, just reactive enough to behave unpredictably. Green eyes are not stable. They are not obedient. They are the iris equivalent of a smirk, intriguing and aware of it. Hazel eyes, the mood ring. Hazel eyes are the iris equivalent of do not assign me a label. They sit in the exact middle of the pigment spectrum and treat color categories like suggestions. Sun equals green, shade equals brown, indoors equals goldish chaos. Hazel does not pick a color, it rotates through identities like it is speedrunning an emotional arc. Scientifically, hazel is a pigment argument pretending to be a color. Medium melanin pulls one way, the yellow pigment pulls the other, light scattering adds commentary, hence the constant shade shifts. Hazel eyes react to lighting like they are being personally challenged. Historically, hazel appears where ancestral groups mixed, which fits because the colour looks like a genetic group project completed by people who never met. Too green for brown, too brown for green. Just confusing enough to make people stare. Sensitivity-wise, hazel sits right in the middle. Not sun-proof, not sun-fragile. Just reactive enough to feel intentional. Hazel eyes are not consistent. They are not predictable. Amber eyes, the golden outlier. Amber eyes look like your iris swallowed a candle and kept the glow. Too golden for brown, too uniform for hazel, too bright to pretend they blend in. Other eyes shift depending on lighting. Amber eyes stay locked, like a screensaver that refuses to turn off. Their color comes from high levels of lipochrome, the same yellow pigment plants use to pretend they are healthy, paired with just enough melanin to keep the glow from looking radioactive. That combination produces a golden, coppery iris that does not change under any conditions. Historically, amber shows up in southern Europe, Asia, and South America, which fits because the shade itself feels like evolution decided to try premium mode for fun. It is rare in humans, but basically the standard eye color for anything that hunts without blinking. Wolves have it, owls have it, predators staring from bushes have it. Humans with amber eyes get the same intensity, but mostly use it for ordering lattes. Amber eyes do not shift. They do not negotiate. They are the golden outlier, glowing like nature installed a nightlight behind your pupil. Grey eyes, the frosted filter. Grey eyes look like your iris put on a permanent overcast filter. With very little melanin, they scatter light across multiple wavelengths, creating a metallic shade that behaves more like weather than color. In low light, they sharpen. In bright light, they collapse instantly. Their pale irises let in every photon, which is why grey-eyed people squint at daylight like it is knocking too loudly. Grey eyes drift subtly. Silver here, slate there, occasionally greenish if the lighting field's creative. They do not change color. They collaborate with the environment like it is their stylist. Under 3% of humans have grey eyes. Emotionally, they reveal nothing. Happiness, boredom, existential dread, all delivered with the same facial expression. Grey eyes are not expressive. They are the frosted filter. Cold, rare, unreadable. Black eyes, the shadow mode. Black eyes are not actually black, just packed with so much melanin the iris runs in stealth mode. These eyes absorb light like they are collecting debts. Lighter irises scatter photons like confetti. Black eyes swallow them whole. They evolved where sunlight was not bright, it was hostile, equatorial ultraviolet that felt personal. Black eyes are industrial-grade armor for retinas. This saturation gives them event horizon energy. You are not looking into them, you are checking if something looks back. Because they absorb everything, they stay flat, calm, unreadable. Black eyes dominate sunlight. Brightness that sends blue or grey eyes into full crisis barely registers to them. No squinting, no flinching, just competence. Culturally, black eyes have been associated with strength, mystery, and intensity, mainly because it is impossible to get an emotional read from an iris that behaves like a closed curtain. Black eyes are not fragile. They are not reflective. They are the shadow mode, immune to the star trying to roast everyone else. Heterochromia, the ancestry glitch. Heterochromia happens when your pigment distribution decides to freestyle, instead of following the basic make both eyes match memo. One iris goes light, the other goes dark, and biology signs off like it is approving two completely different outfits for the same event. Your face becomes a split-story ancestry reveal, and neither iris cares enough to coordinate. Scientifically, it is uneven melanin placement during early development, basically pigment wandering into the wrong neighborhood and refusing to leave. Sometimes it is inherited, sometimes it is a random mutation, sometimes it is biology doing jazz hands. It does not affect your vision, it just makes people wonder which eye they are supposed to focus on. There are versions of it too. Complete heterochromia gives you two distinct eye colors, like each iris filled out a separate personality form. Sectoral heterochromia divides one iris into slices, the optical equivalent of someone mixing paint and stopping halfway. None of this is dangerous, it is just melanin doing its own interior design. Historically, people treated heterochromia like a sign from the gods. Destiny, prophecy, forbidden magic, whatever made them feel better about asymmetry. Humans fear mismatched things, so we invented legends. Ancient cultures wrote myths. Modern people just stare too long and pretzel their faces like they are quietly doing diagnostics. It is rare, less than 1%, rare enough to make strangers assume you survived something dramatic. Spoiler, trauma doesn't translate to eye color. Pigment simply shrugged and chose chaos. Heterochromia is not mystical, it is not symbolic, it is not coded with a secret meaning. It is the ancestry glitch. Two colors, zero coordination, and the fastest way to make someone say, hold on, which eye do I focus on? Any complaints about your eye color? Report them below. Science thrives on drama. And if you want more of this biologically accurate sarcasm, subscribe. It is cheaper than therapy and twice as honest.